Oh, I guess it's already gone live. Hi guys. Well, I'm trying to make my phone work so that I can post this to a couple pages real fast before it dies, but it looks like the phone may die first. Yep, it just died. All right. I usually try to post it out to a couple places when I know that I'm going to be going live, and I'll go back and I'll do that afterwards. This as well as anybody else who's coming on to see the video. I love you. But I keep the camera a little too far away, so I can't really see who's speaking, and I'm not really gonna say much to you or answer your questions. But if you have anything, I'll go back and I'll read over it later, and I'll make the comments when I'm all done with the video. So I just want to make sure that you realize I'm not ignoring you. This is the weekly healing messages for October 22nd through October 26th through November 2nd. And this may very well be the most powerful week of the year. And I'm going to go over a little bit of the astrology. I'm going to give you what Spirit's giving me. It's because, yes, we do have a full moon on Halloween, or Samhain. And happy Halloween and Samhain to everyone. And may you all be blessed. But with that being said, a lot of people are going on about how, it's a very powerful Halloween or Samhain because the last time we had the full moon on Halloween was 2001, and it was in Taurus, where it is now. However, I'm going to give you a little bit of back history on why this is such a powerful Halloween. Because yes, everybody's pretty much stopping at the 2001 because that's where it's easy, and it's easy to stop. And oh, look, it was in Taurus. But if you go all the way back to, let me go in the right flow here because I was doing my homework last night before I started to make this video today. In 1960 or 61, you had Halloween, you had Jupiter and Saturn were in Capricorn, where they are now. Okay? Same kind of energy. What were we looking at in the 60s? Especially in the 1960 and 61 energy. That has a lot to do with what's being catapulted right now. You also have 1936, when we were going through the Depression. We had Uranus, the moon, and Taurus were all in the same sign. Again, and Uranus, Taurus was in the same side with the moon on Halloween in 1936. You also had, at that time, the North Node and the South Node were in the exact same place that they are now. Then you go all the way back to 1901. Jupiter and Saturn again were in Capricorn. We're speaking about rebellious, unpredictable changes. And the energy is pretty much starting now. It is highly, imperatively important for you to raise your vibration, however it is that you have to go about raising your vibration. Let me stop for just a second so that I can help you understand. As I'm doing my homework here for all of this, and I'm dealing with spirit, and I'm looking at the astrology, so I know what I'm going to be talking about today as I come to do the weekly healing messages for this week. Spirit just keeps giving me over and over and over again. And earlier this week, I had a personal little battle with the goddess known as Lilith, because she's had a lot to do with making sure I was getting on the right side of this. Spirit keeps giving me Chiron energy, Lilith energy, and Ceres energy. Over the last 100 years, that has been pushing and pushing and pushing to get us in the right direction. And Lilith is coming in from that darker moon, from that soul fire. But she also has that egotistical point of view to her. But she is an incredible ally in femininity, coming into your feminine power, and like I mean feminine power. She is an incredible ally at helping you come into that level of, hold on one second. My phone is trying to tell me someone's calling. Coming into that feminine personal power. But like I always say with Lilith, she's probably going to be pissed off and call me a bitch here. You always have to watch that me first energy doesn't turn into ego. But see, the reason I was saying that is Chiron is the wounded healer. Lilith is that dark moon, helping you find that soul fire and the ego that you need to strengthen your core and move you forward. Ceres is all about the threefold and karma. Some of the worst things were done with the best intentions. We are talking about Halloween energy, Samhain energy. We are talking about ancestral roots. We are talking about ancestral healing. We are talking about overcoming our own personal inner dogma, ancestrally handed down. Chiron, wounded healer. Lilith, soul fire, but can have that vindictive side. Lilith is also now moved into Taurus. She's no longer in Aries. She is in Taurus, and that's going to bring shock and awe and provoking energy for the next, right up until July. And I believe somewhere between December and February, Lilith and Uranus will conjunct, which is going to make that even stronger. This is all learning about it, coming back into your power, coming back into yourself. You've got to realize everything and everybody, including the earth, wants to survive. And everything has a right to fight for its survival. Spirit gives me, when I say this, it's from one of the, not vampires, from one of the dinosaur movies. You know, when they were creating the dinosaurs, like Jurassic Park or something. When one of the guys is saying to another one of the guys, you know, to a canary, a bird. I mean, to a canary, the bird. The cat is the monster. They were just creating a monster that was more monstrous than we are in the movie. Everything wants to fight for its survival. And I said in the last video that I made, when one thing loses power, something else gains it. That doesn't mean that it's freely willing to give over its power. There is always a fight for the fittest. Now take us back to that Lilith, Chiron, and Ceres energy. This has to do with ancestral roots. This has to do with karmic energy. And how are you manifesting the karmic healing, your personal power, your threefold? The vibration has to come up. It has to come up, because if it doesn't, you're remanifesting from resentment, from rebellious unpredictability that could go in a wrong direction. We have to learn that we have to really truly define and dissect ourselves, because what we're learning is to dissect our inner dogma for our own threefold, for our own karmic return, for the shift that's been trying to force us to move forward for hundreds of years, and our own dogma of religion, of what we believe, how we act. You know, love is fickle. Like I said, some of the worst things are done with the best intentions. We make a lot of mistakes as humans, but we're learning to rise above that This is the time of the veil, and I'm not even lying. The veil couldn't be thinner than it is now. This is like the thin veil of all thin veils. I mean, this is the way that it's set up in the astrology and everything. This is the one to catapult you threefold forward or to catapult you threefold backwards, because they also give me the story of the white and the black wolf. Wow, they just changed that to dragon on me. But it's still the same idea. Which one are you feeding as to which one is growing? Remember, the South Node in Sagittarius is speaking to us of saying everything that you have learned and believed and thought that is going to happen this way is guaranteeing you it will not. This is saying that it's going to have to stretch into a higher understanding, a spiritual significance higher than what you've been before. This is speaking to us of communication with our personal source energy and lifting that to a higher level. And this is the one time when you have a clean, open veil for you to get right with that ancestral roots and healing. Remember, Halloween, people dressed up originally to scare off their inner demons or their demons. But we're getting down to what we're scaring off is our inner demons. But it's not about scaring them off. It's about loving them back to full wholeness so that you are fully in your wholeness. It's giving the forgiveness to your inner demon that's created your dogma so that you can find Chiron, that wounded healer, can start a new cycle. This is a cycle of cycles. Lilith to help give you that personal power to come into your power, and Ceres, which is always too close to home energy, as well as the threefold itself. Now, when I get into astrology, this week is going to be very sensitive. And especially for you empaths, you sensitives in general, you may be knocked down by energy tomorrow, on Tuesday, the 27th. And any of you who are born with Mercury in retrograde especially, you may be knocked down tomorrow. You have tomorrow both Venus and Mercury, which is in retrograde, both are entering Libra. Remember, we're on a Libra cycle of a new moon before we come into the next new moon, which takes place in Scorpio. This is Scorpio season. Scorpio energy of the sun is illuminating all of that underworld that needs to shift, needs to heal, needs to move forward, where the rules, walls, and boundaries set incorrectly due to your own personal inner dogma, so that you can be healthy for yourself. And it is directly looking over at that Halloween full moon in Taurus, where Lilith now is, on top of Uranus, which I'm telling you is shock and awe, unpredictable, rebellious energies. It speaks to us about our money. Taurus also deals with money. It speaks to us about our small possessions, such as, things that you love, like your crystals, things that help you be the best you as possible. But when you can't get to feeling self-worth, self-value, self-esteem in a powerful combination of ways that's bringing you into that, what happens is it becomes controlling and possessive. So are you feeling possessed because you're still allowing everything and your own personal dogma to redirect you and catapult you the wrong freaking direction? Or are you coming into that power, coming into that source energy, coming into that wholeness, coming into those ancestral roots, and you're growing into exactly who and what you are meant to be? This is about us evolving and moving forward. But like I said, on the 27th, Venus moves into Libra. Mercury retrograde is also moving into Libra. Libra is all about harmony and balance and justice. And I can't say enough times, the problem with Libra energy is in a human being, not Libra itself, but Libra energy in a human being is they go and go, I want to make harmony and balance and justice for everybody else in my life. And what's happening is they end up going back into the corner where they're the ones who never get it. Venus is going to be having sensitivity telling you where you're screwing up and you're putting yourself back in that corner again. Mercury retrograde is also going to be doing that. Now, understand that Mercury retrograde is sitting on top of Haumea as it comes back in. And this is the level of the lotus flower. Can't say it enough times. The lotus flower grows in a swamp. It's the most spiritually evolved flower of symbolism to help us understand this. So are you in the swamp and you can't see the light for the hell of day because you're still believing in that dogma and you're only seeing it that way? Or are you starting to rise into that frothy middle land and see there is an above and a below and that you actually have a choice to make? Or are you finally starting to grow and bloom? Your communication with yourself about the relationships that you allow in your life is going to be speaking to you about where you are on that lotus flower. Listen. Because it's a message trying to catapult you in the right direction or tell you where you're putting yourself in the wrong. Venus is on top of make. That's the fucking collective consciousness, folks. The collective consciousness of who you are in this existence and the relationship you have with yourself as well as others. Are you fully coming into your power? Are you coming into who you are in this existence? Or are you still stuck in your dogma? Remember, some of the worst things were done with the best intentions. Love is fickle. Dogma is redundant. You have the moon that's going to be traveling through Pisces, through Aries, and then into Taurus. Okay, Pisces energy, you guys know this. The moon, when it's in Pisces, we love everything. We're open to everything, including being taken advantage of and lied to and misguided. Because Pisces is magic. Pisces energy has Neptune there, still in retrograde as well. This all depends on if you can see your magic clearly to create healthy new magic. Or will you go back down the same road and the same cycle over and over again and have to get the smackdown again to try to teach you where you keep making the same mistakes? Because Neptune doesn't care what kind of magic it creates. It's just going to create it. It doesn't care if it's full-on delusional. Neptune is all about fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. We're talking about the moon being in Pisces for the next 2 days and wanting to believe in people who maybe don't deserve for you to believe in them. Then it goes into Aries, where it is all me first energy. And then it comes into Taurus, where that full moon is. So you're going to go through a sensitive switch because of Mercury and Venus taking that shifting into, not Mercury, yeah, and Venus taking that shifting into Libra for harmony, balance, and justice. And are you fixing it for everybody else? Or are you finally finding you're important and fixing it for you? Then you're coming into, will you be tripped up with the Pisces and Aries shift from caring about everybody to, wait a minute, I need to care about myself. I need to start something new. I need to decide these things, but will you actually follow through? Then Taurus comes in with predictable, unpredictable, shock and awe, rebellious energy. Where are you going to take your energy this week? The white wolf the black wolf. What are you feeding? We're looking at hundreds of years of karmic energy growing into the dogma idea of what is right and what is wrong, what we believe and what we know is true. Soulfully. Remember, this is a 4 and 5 year. And I say 4 and 5 year because 2020 equals a 4, which means you get on board with what is going on spiritually, with the evolution going on around you and the planet, or, I've been saying it the whole time, or we'll take you out of the system. But it's also a leap year. So this is also a 5 year, which means adapt and shift and change so that you can get on board with the karmic energy. Because the 4 means you can't change that. 4 energy is, there are always 4 seasons. There is always 4 directions. There's 4 elements. There are certain things in your universal law you cannot change. You can manifest. You can bring a lot of things into reality, but there are some things on universal stand that you cannot change. You have to work within the guidelines of the 4. And with 4 meaning this is getting on board because I'm going to start making things go my way in a higher vibration, and I'm bringing this up and out of you. And if I have to, I will punch you below the gut with all of your own personal dogma, all of your own personal demons, all of your own personal darkness. I will mirror the fuck out of it to you until you get on board and you start to adapt and change and shift. Love's fickle. It is the greatest thing known to man, but man doesn't know much about love. Because some of the worst things ever were done with the best intention, bringing you all the way back to my own personal dogma with Lilith. Sometimes you've got to learn to love yourself in all lives, including the ones that have already died of this life. You have to love yourself back to right. That means facing yourself so that you can see not the bad parts about yourself, but so that you can bring healing to yourself. If you are doing this Halloween right, that's what this is about. I love you guys. Bye.